Fantasy General is not a completely deterministic game. However, as long as you respect the math, you'll win much faster. Fantasy General's combat is unintuitive to say the least. And I mentioned in my deep dive video about it that I'll make a combat explainer video if there are enough people interested in it. There was just this one guy. Thank you, Juxtapo. I appreciate your interest. Here's how combat in Fantasy General works. We'll go through how damage works, how flanking happens, the effect of terrain on your troops, and how to deal with wounds and deaths. There are three attack ranges. There are three attack ranges with an asterisk. Missile range, considered long range, skirmish range or short range, and melee, which is close range. This means that when an attacking unit has an attack range greater than the defending unit, the defender will be unable to counterattack. Missile range units can attack any other type of unit without getting attacked back, with the exception of other missile units. If a skirmisher attacks a melee unit, they won't get attacked back. However, if the skirmisher attacks another skirmisher, they will get hit back. But this works in reverse as well. When melee units hit skirmishers or missile units, they tend to do a lot of damage and don't get nearly as much damage back because skirmisher and missile units have very low melee attack. Now here's the thing I found very unintuitive until I read the manual and understood everything I just explained. The physical range on the map has nothing to do with the actual range of the attack. In order to attack or to be attacked, all units, with the exception of siege engine units, have to be in a hex adjacent to the unit they wish to attack. There is no on-the-map correlation between the range of units and their location. The fact that archers have the highest attack range doesn't mean they can attack from 3 hexes away. They still have to be near the unit they want to attack. Now let's address the asterisk. Archers, and only archers, can also fire defensively during the enemy's turn, when an adjacent friendly unit is attacked. When the archers have friendly units in their zone of control, meaning the 6 hexes surrounding the one they occupy, they will counterattack if those friendly units get attacked. Not only that, but there is no limit to how many times they will respond. So make sure to keep them surrounded by friendlies at all times when possible. And to not leave any loose ends, all siege engine units can actually fire up to 3 hexes away, some 4, and when you set them 1 hex away from a fortification you want to attack, it will support your attacking units with a +2. And I've also observed them attacking hexes that are attacked by friendlies within their zone of control. That's not necessarily mentioned in the manual, and I'm not sure. There are 3 types of damage: physical, magical, mechanical. You can tell what type of damage a unit does by the symbol next to the attack number. A sword means physical damage, which is what most mortal units do. The hammer means mechanical attacks, and the star is magical attacks. Mechanical units take more damage from magical attacks, and some magical units are more vulnerable to mechanical attacks. And that's about it on damage types. The ranges is where you win and lose. This is a tactical combat game, so you would expect some sort of flanking mechanic to exist. Fantasy General does not disappoint, and it has a pretty straightforward flanking mechanic. When a unit has 2 enemies inside its zone of control, every other unit from the 3rd onward will receive a +4 to its attack. That's it. And it's a really cool mechanic because it will allow weaker units to punch way above their weight with the power of friendship. River hexes are possibly the most perilous hex in the game, not only because they will full-on stop the movement of most units, except for flying units, light and heavy cavalry, but because they hold a hidden debuff for units that occupy them. Units on river hexes will only use half their attacks on both offense and defense. It doesn't matter if the unit is at full health, it will only use half. And this is one way you can lose some fights that would otherwise be wins on any other hex. So pay attention to that. Do your best to never engage in combat when your units are on river hexes, but absolutely attack enemy units on river hexes as long as you are attacking from a non-river hex. River hexes are not the only ones that will stop units, but they are the ones that you will encounter earliest and most often. Mountain, volcano, lava pools, swamp, woods, rough and jungle hexes will also end movement of different groups of units, but only the river hex will have the number of attacks. Despite your best efforts, your troops will get hurt and killed on occasion. But all is not lost, because there are ways of dealing with wounds and deaths. Wounds can be fixed by telling a unit to rest for its turn. Resting will also erase a unit's broken status, by the way, which is great because a broken unit attacks with a -5. Deaths, on the other hand, are a bit harder to fix, as one might imagine. Troop numbers can be refreshed through the recruit button, however, this is only available when the affected unit is at least adjacent to a friendly town. Like resting, recruiting will also take up a unit's entire turn, but will not only replace the dead units, it will also fix the wounded. Recruiting will also cost some gold, so make sure you always have some change during missions for this exact purpose. Resting and recruiting will occupy those units for those entire turns, hence you need to make sure you always get as much out of them as possible. Because if you try to rest when an enemy unit is in a damaged unit's zone of control, resting will only recover 1 life and way less morale, so try not to do that. I haven't covered research allocation or army management, since those have more to do with the game overall than just the unintuitiveness of combat itself. Will knowing all of this guarantee you win each mission from the first try? No. Trial and error is still a thing because RNG is baked into both the rolls for attack and the rolls for morale, as well as the things you can find when you take over locations on any map. Fantasy General is not a completely deterministic game, however, as long as you respect the math, you'll win much faster. Click on the video on the left of your screen if you'd like to see more from me. If you'd like to support me, thank you. There's a link to Patreon on the right of the screen. I post a newsletter through Patreon for free, by the way. In case you're a GOG user, please consider using my GOG affiliation link in the description for your next purchase. I've been Stefan, the RetroGaming anthropologist. Thank you for watching, and good luck out there.